But I think we're probably live now. So hello world, it's Sunday night, it's 8:30 and you're watching Let's Kill Twitter. This is the Sorbet edition, which is our 30-minute catch-up of the week's tweets. All in the name of detoxing your timeline with the art of conversation, our mission statement. And as ever, helping me to make Twitter more bearable is my co-host, comedian Sajila Kershi. How are you?
Hello, world. Hello, Julian. How are you on this Sunday rainy day?
Yeah, don't know who's in charge of the weather, etc. I'm not sure if there's any vaccine we can down for that, but it's not working,
Yeah.
is it? I've seen a few forlorn tweets about that. It's like, oh, we need to get a refund on the weather, but I can legitimately talk about that this week. I'm just like one of those sort of terrible British bores. I remember years ago there was this sitcom, I wish I could remember the name of it, where one of the characters' traits was like, if you ask Robert, how was your day, he'll tell you. And that's like, I've just become that with weather. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm good. I'm working towards a deadline. I've been
Mm.
sleeping mostly this week, so I missed a lot of tweeting, and I've just been catching up with it all today. And I know that we just like just before we sort of kicked off, told me some groundbreaking news of something that was going to please both of us because we're both fans.
Well, yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it's like you. I felt like I'd missed a lot of Twitter, and then when I went through stuff, I thought, "Oh, there's some goodies here." But for something that I hadn't picked out, which is quite big news for a lot of people, and for us as well, because we are massive Friends fans, was something that I knew about, but I didn't know the details about. So let's have the admin tweet, which is the HBO Max channel, announcing the Friends reunion, which is coming next week on the 27th of May. What date is the 27th of May offhand? Is it a Thursday? I can't remember.
I don't. It's a Friday. Friday.
Is it? I totally lost
I'm
track of
thinking it's a
time.
Friday. I'm thinking it's definitely a
Oh,
Friday
okay, cool.
because it isn't the 29th on a Sunday, so I'm guessing
Well,
it's.
our next show is on the 20th. Oh, that should tell us something. Our next show is on the 23rd, but more of that later. And obviously, people can see that above my head on a ticker, thankfully. But this is the thing, right? Friends, the reunion, and it's not, as far as I know, a scripted thing. There might be some skits in it, but it is like they're not playing the characters, as far as I know. They are just playing themselves. Hence, this sort of extra cast list of past stars. So Tom Selleck is coming back. James Michael Tyler, who's Gunter. Maggie Wheeler, who's Janice. So that's all great. But then you've got David Beckham, Justin Bieber, BTS, James Corden,
Malala.
which has caused a bit of a kerfuffle. I don't know why. I know some people don't particularly like James Corden, but I don't know why James Corden would be the one to necessarily kick off that. But yeah, Malala
Who's
is in there.
BTS?
BTS
Who's
are a
BTS?
band. But yeah,
Oh my God,
which
I'm so not down with everything the musical. Oh my God, and then Malala.
I
I mean, this is just madness.
I mean, I don't
I,
presume some of this is going to be virtual. But
yeah.
so the guest list is this thing. So there's been a few sort of Corden tweets, but there's been a couple of like I love this tweet here. Kerry O'Donnell's tweeted, Greta Thunberg should be in the Friends reunion. It's like, yeah, well, why not? I mean, literally everybody else is. If Malala's in there,
Yeah,
then
Gret's got going there.
do you reckon this could be a kind of unofficial UN? Couldn't it? And this could be an
Yeah,
unofficial UN and probably about as effective as the real UN, actually. So why not?
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I can't wait. Are you going to be when it's at the 27th thing? And I'm just trying to look at the dates. Where's my calendar? And I can't see my calendar.
Note it in your
Does it?
diary now.
I've got to write. I've got to write in my diary because I can't be missing that.
Well, our
It's
next show,
just
I
a
can fill it. So our next show is with comedians Susie Bennett and Nathaniel Tapley, and that is Sunday the 23rd of May, next Sunday, 8 p.m,
four,
kids.
five, six, seven. So it's
So
Thursday.
it is Thursday, yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Cindy Crawford. God, that's another blast from the past as well. Mindy Kaling, fair enough.
Well,
But
Kit
if Malala's
Harington,
the
Game of
most odd,
Thrones, so there's a bit of crossover, yeah.
there's,
But as
there's,
pointed out by so this featured in the Standard. Actually, they picked it out. Radhika says, "How can Paul Rudd not be in the Friends reunion? Even Joey's hand twin is on the guest list. But where is Phoebe's husband?" I mean, he's probably washing. I mean, to be fair, if it's Paul Rudd, if he's going to stay looking that young, I mean, he must wash his hair and moisturise like 24 hours a day, every day. I
Yeah,
don't
looks
know.
good, doesn't he? There.
And yeah, I mean, he's he's certainly kept his looks. But that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? I mean, you can't have everyone, can you? But
No, but they could have asked us, couldn't they?
as
Seeing as we're
as
number one
super
fans.
fans,
Yeah, I mean, I really think that we should have made a little cameo as super fans, and that we would talk about them all the time, but we could talk about them every week if they gave us a little cameo role. Would you turn that
well,
down,
no,
Julian?
no, absolutely wouldn't. I mean, we both know that everything in life has some kind of
Has
Friends analogy to
Yeah,
it, don't we? I mean, uh,
every moment,
there,
everything you can relate to a friend's moment, everything.
there must be a book about. There must. I mean, maybe we should have written that
Maybe we
book.
should write one,
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
because I know you've already got one. You've written an article about it, haven't you? Because I remember, I think that's
Oh,
one of the things.
I did vaguely. I think I might have vaguely
Yeah.
mentioned it in an article.
So
Look,
maybe another one. I think you should be doing something on this. I think you should. I think another article is
dust,
cool.
dust off a former career. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
I don't know. I mean, look, I love Friends, and I do. I have to say, it's always on in the background. I don't know that I can get that excited about this. I mean, it almost feels a little bit like the Oprah interview, the Meghan and Harry. It's like, oh, I've got to watch it, haven't I? I feel like I had to. I mean, obviously, I hadn't followed Meghan and Harry like I'd followed Friends, but it just feels like something that you have to do. And I'm sure there'll be sort of lesser Friends fans who'd be thinking, oh, yeah, I will, probably watch it out of curiosity. But for me, it's all kind of in its place and of its time. What could this be entertaining? Do you think?
I don't know. It was like Sex and the City when they made the movies. I was
Well,
kind of
at least it
disappointed.
was scripted. I mean, it was bad, but it was
Yeah,
scripted.
it was so bad it was good almost. But especially the one when they went to Saudi, and
Second
it
one,
was
Sex and the
entertaining, but
City too.
it wasn't the same. It just wasn't the you know. I think by that time it was so toxic between the cast that they probably even couldn't keep that chemistry on screen. So I don't know. It might be disappointing. Maybe we should just have it in that time and place and have it playing in the background. Maybe we don't need to, because of course, when you see those names, you think, oh, there's a lot of people just want to be involved with it. That's all it is. And quite frankly, if they'd asked me, I'd have bloody gone there like a shot. I'd be like, yeah, yeah. It
Well,
doesn't matter if nobody's going to
there's
watch this.
always
I want to be
Friends
part of it.
Fest.
Yeah.
I've never quite dipped into the Friends Fest. I think that's back on this summer. With all those sort of gizmos where you can like flop onto the Porsche boxes, or you can stick your head through the whatever is the door frame and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh no, hang on a minute. It's a bit too commercial, I think.
Yeah, but it does hold a special place in a lot of people's hearts and still does. So I think, and I- I'm thinking, yes, watch it, but it will be disappointing, probably a little bit, maybe. But still, it's got to be done. You can't, yeah. I think
Well,
it's got
I
to
mean,
be
I'm a
done.
huge fan, and so I mean, I've certainly preached into the converted in a way, and I know I'll be watching, but you know, well,
We,
look, talking about something that was received in a way that perhaps wasn't intended. And it's a bit London centric, but maybe a warning from a lot of mayors. So Sadiq Khan, not that long ago, re-elected, announced on Twitter that David Hockney was done a sort of makeover of the Piccadilly sign. I don't know if this is something you'd seen, Sajila, with the.
I haven't, and in fact, I'll be going to London in about a couple of weeks. I'll see it then. Given that no one's, well, I'm not from the country, not going into London. It just looks like a child could have done that. And I
Well,
know that's often said about artists, but really, and I did see that how expensive this was. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, it's not right. Yeah, I mean, well, this is the child sort of thing was something that really struck a chord. So I think Jonathan Pye was one that I picked it out. I know he says, "I'm sorry, but I could do better than that in an MS Paint after 5 cans of Stella." And then someone who Hannah Summersfield spent out that it said at least £6 million has been spent on this campaign. Obviously,
Six
I think it's
million.
actually 7. Obviously, the Hockney isn't the only facet of it. But the real sort of kicker, really, for the mayor must have been when there was Adrian Botts. He sort of did a kind of Hennimore sketch, which is Robert Webb and David Mitchell's sort of sketch. So Henny Moore, this priceless artwork by esteemed artist David Hockney that needs to go up in the tube stations, and this is the Blue Peter competition entry by 7-year-old David Hockney of Clapham that needs to be featured on CBBC. Do not mess this up. So he's talking. I don't know how many people actually remember that Michelin Web look, but he did. He picked the right note there. Mark Wallace, Conservative Home editor, just his assessment was bollocks and dropped off the S as the Piccadilly Circus S is dropped off. But you've actually got just very quickly to finish it. Oh no, go on. So you've actually got the artist community way. I think this is the sort of the kind of the major body blow to this. Laura Levin, who's an artist, so I think we should get Sadiq Khan to use the Let's Do London campaign to highlight actual London artists who have incredible talents and important messages to showcase. No hate to Hockney, but this was a terrible missed opportunity. Do you think it was a? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that, because you could have artists. I mean, the best way to, given that I think artists have been kind of quite productive over lockdown, but now they've got to get their art shown. And I always like it when I go into a cafe or a restaurant and they've got like a local artist, stuff up on the walls, and either that you can buy it or it's just there to display their work. I think you're absolutely right. That could have happened, and I'm wondering if secretly behind doors, they've commissioned this piece of work, and just going, what the fuck? 6 million, 7 million we spent on this. Well, we're gonna have to style it out and just say how amazing it is. Emperor's new clothes, and like are actually really angry and disappointed behind the scenes. And actually, I'm gonna say they said no hate to Hockney. I'm gonna say no hate to Hockney, but Hockney, it's a bit shit.
But I mean, David, he's a great artist. I mean, I wouldn't say that was his best
No, but
work.
this is like, you did not, you're just laughing all the way to the bank if that's what you've got paid. And but yeah, I think it's a missed opportunity to get like lots of artists, their work displayed, not just one, because I think that keeps it very sort of elite. And I think I would like to see on the undergrounds when I'm traveling, in the, because they do it in Paris, don't they? They have like, is it near the Louvre? They have one of the stations where they have like beautiful pieces of statues and stuff. That's right. So I'd quite like to, and I think that would really kind of tidy up our undergrounds as well. And it's not too late to do that now. Just display and promote people's, art. He is a very big supporter of the arts, I have to say, Sadiq Khan. Having attended, one of the very few shows that he attended was mine.
Oh yes.
So of course I'm going to be a massive fan. Edinburgh Festival, which I was only told like about half an hour before, two big burly guards come over and say, "Are you Julia Hershey?" Yes. We need to have a word with you. And I was like, oh shit, what have I done? It's like, we work for Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London. I was like, oh my god, I've given him a name check. This is a bit shit. This is a bit heavy. Trying to tell me off what freedom of speech. I was about to go and fight one, but he just told they want to come to see a show. But so he does, massively support the arts. But like I said, behind the closed doors, I wonder if he's thinking, oh, that's not quite, But then he must have seen, I don't know how they worked with him, if he'd saw like a little rough draft, or I don't know how. And we only got two things.
A rough
here,
draft. That's what went up.
Sorry?
It's clearly unfinished. It's got to put the S back. No, I know what you mean. Isn't it something? I mean, it's to do with the kind of, somebody must have sort of said, you'd think on one level, look, if you're going to spend that much money and start a campaign, that might not be what you go. The impression might not be the best first impression to make, but it's Hockney, and they all know that people's reaction to it, my child could have done that, or the usual kind of reaction to art, but sometimes it's true, is they knew that would set the tongues wagging, and I just think there is the kind of falls under the, is there such a thing as, there's no such thing as bad publicity, is what I'm trying to,
Yeah, that's true.
Although, I think in the case of this tweet, a reaction from London's sort of an artist in London making the point that other artists are available. I think. Yeah,
but that's going to be like, if you've got like one comedian. So what about the other comedians? It's not my. It's if I think if I saw that, I think, oh, that's quite perfectly pleasant. That's nice. Lifted my day a bit. But if you then tell me we spent that much money on it, then I start, oh God, really? Then we could have given lots of other artists a chance.
Well, I mean,
Because
clearly
then it's,
that 7 million is going to go into various other sort of initiatives. I mean, actually, we should probably point out that this Nora Level tweet, this is moving on. So that piece there is an example. She's just superimposed an example, I think. So that's not the Hockney piece, obviously. That piece which says I did nothing today and that's okay. That's actually quite a good piece for the pandemic, actually. I think.
yeah,
But
pandemic friendly. But art is subjective, so it's not. And I think the only thing I'm objecting to here is the amount of money. Really, that's. I just think there should be some accountability for what we're putting funds into. I think yes, we've got to put it back into the arts. Absolutely, after the pandemic, it's really important that we keep that alive in all the different genres. But yeah, I mean, I think perhaps like crossover, going back into the real world. I want to see cafes and restaurants. Yes, what is it we're doing? We're eating out to help out, or display to display people's art.
Display and
I'm
pay.
trying to think of something to
Display and pay up.
display and pay out. Yeah,
Sub the poor artists.
Hold comedy nights, hold like let's support the arts, support each other in that way. And actually, at the bottom line, it's like he's trying to do something nice, for undergrounds. And the other one that you showed, it's actually bright and cheery, isn't it? Yellow's always like you look at colour yellow for more than 10
I see.
seconds. Is it you're supposed to automatically smile? Automatically. So the colour, primary colour is I mean, so they didn't even have room for the S. I love the S is dropped.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. This is the thing that kind of undercuts it. I mean, look, on the press release that went out for all of this, there will be some detail about where the money is going. But anybody just looking at that story goes, oh, there's a Piccadilly Circus sign with the S falling off. I mean, it's not. I mean, you could make parallels to sort of how the condition of the state of the tube is in. It's like, yeah, something's falling off. I mean, luckily it isn't quite that bad, but there is.
Until I go to London and see for myself, I can't make a. But yeah, I mean, let's face it. It could have put anything there. We'd all have criticised it. We would have sort of had something to say about it. And that is what art is. You're supposed to critique it.
And here we are talking about it.
And here we are spending our half an hour of about 10 minutes on this.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously somebody's already made a suggestion for cockfosters, but it didn't take much imagination. So, Right, where do we go from here? There's let me see.
I managed to pick something up before we came on. I can't remember what it was now.
We've got Friends. We've got this was a kind of slightly wacky one that I discovered today. Thanks to Alex Keeley for retweeting this on my main account. This is a Washington Post journalist. This is a research that compared to women, men feel most able to take on medium-sized dogs and geese. So there's this rather wacky graph here, which basically lists various animals and the percentages of men and women that would be happy to fight this particular animal. As you do on an everyday basis. So she's picked out obviously geese and medium-sized dog, which was 39% women. 60% men were happy to do that. I thought King Cobra was interesting because so only 8% women there, but 23% men. But I'm sure there's loads of men that just think that's a really large beer. I'd be happy to tackle that. Perhaps not the 120.
What would you take on?
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, that's a good multi-choice question. I'm not surprised that grizzly bear is and lion are top there. Gorilla, crocodile, wolf. Wolf's just a big dog, isn't it? Come on,
You take on a big dog. I'm trying to think. I'd like to think I could take on a chimpanzee.
You see, I've seen Game of Thrones,
so
I think I'm wolf trained. I'm wolf trained now.
You're wolf trained?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Eagle is a weird one as well.
A kangaroo. Elephant, definitely not.
Also, you'd have to ask yourself, are we both going to be armed with something? Just like that episode in Friends where Ross is trying to rehome his monkey. And then I think it's Harry Shearer who plays the guy that basically wants to steer him into some kind of animal sort of fighting thing. So you
Yeah.
see, we have proved for every
Okay, so
occasion.
yeah, that's it. That's probably why I went for the chimpanzee. I like chimpanzees. I like little monkeys. They're cute and they're cuddly. Um, but yeah, the fact that they put them in nappies always makes you wonder: would they, if you carried a monkey, would it shit on you?
That
What
it
would that
sounds like a
baby
really
monkey do?
philosophical question. That's like, if we carry a monkey, will it shit on you?
Well, because why they put them in nappies and give them like milk? So they must have to be potty trained of some sort.
So you're just relying on how old this chimpanzee is to be distracted by.
Yeah, if it's a baby,
Uh,
I'll take it on because it's just like, oh, that'd be cute. Yeah, I won't have to I'll just take it.
so rat actually
Koala,
comes
why is
before
there a
house
koala
cat,
there?
though.
Sorry?
Rat actually comes before house cat,
Oh
though.
no, do you know, I would not take a
Well,
rat
yeah,
on. I can't
exactly. I
stand them. I
mean,
hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Rats and snakes, no way.
well, this is
Um,
it. Yeah.
house cats would take. Yeah, house cat fight back. You got a cat?
No, I have had cats. So yeah.
Haven't.
But I haven't taken them on. No, the only reason I don't have cats in there is I won. No, okay.
Oh, we've already won. Yeah.
Yeah, I've already won. Oh no,
Yeah.
I miss cats. Yeah, it's an interesting list. I mean, obviously, what would also be interesting is if you put them all in the same arena, who ultimately wins. But
Who wins? Yeah.
it must be, maybe it's those 7% and 6% of women and men that would take on the grizzly bear. So, but there you go. There's a very important bit of research there. Not
Proper research
sure.
done into that.
Not sure if it's ever going to come into play. So what else did I have on? I had a time. Oh goodness me! Right. Oh dear. Feelyourage.com. The Brits. Did that enter your?
Oh my God! Do you know, I feel
Right.
like I'm too old for the Brits. I know. I saw that. You know, our friend Aisha was there. She goes every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
There was a time when my sister used to invite me to go to the Brits. She always had like free tickets, and
What? You never
I don't
went?
think, huh?
You never went?
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, I was still talking to her the other day, and I said, "Oh, she invited me to go to Basement Jack's. She knows, like, and she told me that there's a private thing. Do you want to come?" And I was wallpapering my bedroom, and there's a big rip there because I was on the phone to her, and like I said, "I'll just rip that wallpaper," and out of spite, I didn't go, and that was ridiculous. And I see that tear every day in my bedroom. God knows how many years ago. Yeah, no, I feel like it missed me. Everybody was talking about it, and I didn't feel the slightest need or interest to watch it.
I've got to say, I did. Yeah, there's always been something slightly odd about the Brits as well. Slightly kind of, I don't know, something or other. But these tweets, the ones I picked out in it, but David Deal and Robin Ince, very much sort of pointing towards the age gap that was obviously, created by the generations that have passed. So David says, I found last night the very idea of watching the Brits depressed me, not because of the corporate nature of the event or the MTO2 or Jack Whitehall, who's a perfectly good posh host, but I'm too old to watch the Brits. And then Robin's not watching the Brits, just watching all the tweets from middle-aged people who cannot understand why it is not like it was when they were young. It's fascinating to see how hard it is for people to realise they're not the kids anymore. I mean, I've got to say I never was the kids, but
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a sort of an indie kid, I didn't, I'm not going to say missed that alternative, but the Brits were never really, they were never really going to be your cup of tea. I wasn't anti-pop. I mean, there was a lot of amazing pop in the 80s, but in the context of that year when Mick Fleetwood and Samantha Fox did it side by side, and it's
Oh
such a
yeah,
car
do you
crash.
remember seeing that? I do remember seeing that one.
Everyone Mick Fleetwood was trending on Tuesday when the Brits won because of everybody remembering what it was. I think it was Tuesday.
It was
Monday,
really bad, wasn't it? I do remember it was really, really bad.
Well, that just epitomised the whole of the Brits for me. I mean, there was Jarvis Cocker's bum wiggle at Michael Jackson. I think that was during the Brits, wasn't it? During Earth Song. That was another sort of.
Remember, and wasn't there a fight between the Gallaghers and someone else?
That's just a Monday night.
That's just Monday night, but it was. That's what it is. It's like a pub brawl, isn't it? There's always somebody going to kick off. Something's going to, something about was it the Gallagher brothers and maybe it was.
I think this is vague. This is ringing a vague bell.
Yeah, somebody slagging off somebody, and
but that was it. There was always some kind of ruckus. And I mean, maybe that is. I mean, this year it was more about sort of political messaging, and there did used to be political messaging in the Brits. It was part and parcel of what happened, but it wasn't as evident as it was this year. So maybe we've moved on from lagered up fights to political messaging, which is, on balance, maybe not a terrible thing. But I see the point of, these two tweets are sort of encapsulate it nicely.
Wasn't Mandy Smith? Who's the one that the rock from one of the
Well, there was
Stones?
Bill Wyman and Mandy from the Stones.
Mandy Smith. There was some sort of thing I remember. I think it was a shock horror that she was, because they were called them Wild Girls. Was it Wild Girls? What Wild?
That sounds like we're in Duran Duran territory now.
Yeah, not Wild Girls. What were they called? The young girls who went to the clubs and stuff. It was kind of my era, really. Oh God, they gave them a name to kind of excuse
Wild Child?
old men and perving on them, huh?
No, not Wild Child. No, it's just generic.
Wild Child. That's it. Wild Child. Yeah, and it's like somehow that they were responsible for these crusty old men, hitting on them. So that sort of, I feel that's kind of related to the Brits for me as well. I don't know why, but it is.
It just brings up generally terrible associations. It just brings up
and it's all unsavoury, isn't it? So I don't know what the recent Brits have been like, because I've not really, like I said, I've not been engaged with it. I was never really greatly engaged with it before, and I don't feel like I missed out. And the same with the Oscars this year. But maybe because it was in lockdown.
I think that was a big
part. I felt like, and I used to like to stay up all night to watch them in the past. But I just don't seem to have any interest. I don't know, just seems to there's no fun in it anymore. I've kind of got over all their dresses and all the stuff that would have been, what is she wearing? What are they wearing? Or who's who with who? All that gossip stuff. It's just, I think this last year has just. It's no longer important. I don't care. I don't give a shit what they're wearing. I don't care who's with who. I don't care. I don't even care who won, to be honest. The only thing I was mildly interested in was that Riz Ahmed was up for he'd got a nod.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
And then so anything like kind of multicultural was like, oh, well, that's exciting. But even then, it was on a kind of like, if you're heart monitor, it'd be like beep 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 beep, and that was it. And I'd still that was the only kind of slight interest.
So basically what we're saying is both too old and too cool for the Brits, essentially.
Too old, and I'm cool and too old, yeah. But I wish I was this cool when I was younger. I wish I could have said all those things when I was younger and say, no, I'm not about the Brits. No, because genuinely I did want to probably go when my sister, it's just that I just never got round to kind of get my...
I think there was an element of it being a little bit... we're not even just out of... tomorrow's like a major day, obviously the 17th, which I have to say, I don't know whether that would have been tomorrow. If we were a few weeks back and talking about the variant situation, I wonder whether tomorrow would have been pushed back. But we are where we are, as the Brexit saying goes. But the Brits, I think it was a bit like, I want to get back to normal, but I'm not ready for that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And I think we're a long way away from... I had a friend who's saying she's going to theatre. That's nice, but cinema. I could do cinema like they did between the lockdowns when they had like the cinema and you'd have one row with like 2 people or something, which was all right.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for the Brits. I'm not ready for the Oscars. Like I was ever going to go to the Oscars.
I know. I wouldn't pass up an invite there, even now. I don't think. So what's next? What's next?
So I picked up. I was looking at what was trending, and of course there are kind of heavy subjects this week that we maybe don't want to delve into it because I want to keep it light and breezy. But I quite like this because I've never managed to get a Costco card, right? And so it's 50 Shades. I don't think you've. Yeah, I think what it is. It's I've liked it and retweeted it, but you haven't picked it up on our account.
Oh, okay. Is it? It's on your account, yeah.
But I think I did. Oh, I thought I did put retweet. Let me just retweet it so that you know what I'm talking about. I thought I had.
Just whipping through it now.
LKT.
Actually, may not have done that.
Okay. I'm just going to retweet it now.
Okay, brilliant. Hang on.
Okay, yeah. So, former child star Rick Schroeder. And I had to really Google him to find out what he looked like as a child star. And even then I was like, oh yeah, vaguely, but I can't remember what he's in. basically went. There's a video to follow it, so I've just
Yeah, I can't
tweeted it.
find it on your account at the moment.
No, I tweeted it with LKT.
Oh, you
So
have?
yeah.
Okay,
So
alright, hang on.
should come up now.
Oh, here we
There
go.
you go. Yeah. So if you play the video,
Okay, brilliant. Hang on.
Why aren't you letting me in? What's your name?
My name is Jason.
And what do you do here?
I'm a supervisor, front-end supervisor.
And why aren't you letting me in?
Because in the state of California, in the county of Los Angeles, there has been and Costco, there's been no change
Yes,
to our
there has
mask
been.
policy. Not in the state of California or in the county
Didn't you
of
see the
Los
news?
Angeles.
You didn't see the news. Nationwide
Absolutely.
Costco has said you don't need to wear a mask.
Actually, that's not accurate.
What is accurate?
So what is accurate is that Costco always goes above and beyond when following the law. And the mandate in California has not changed. There does seem to be the possibility that in June, by mid-June, that's a date that California, I know,
If
is
they
looking
allow
at.
us, if they grant us that, our kings, the people in power, you're going to listen to these people?
Well, I know
they've destroyed our economy.
Well,
they're
sir, they're
destroying our
evaluating.
culture. They're destroying our state.
I see.
And you're just going to listen to their rules.
Well, what we are going to do is simply follow the guidelines.
Okay. I'm getting my refund. I'm getting my refund from Costco. I suggest everybody in California get their refund from Costco. Give up your membership to Costco until they remove this.
Okay, well, this hasn't changed in any building
poor guy.
in California, in any company that I'm aware of. The places I shop still
Okay.
require masks. But that's not the point. The point is Costco is simply abiding by the law, and that's the law.
There's my refund. You're the manager?
I'm the manager.
Okay, I'm suggesting everybody in California get a refund from Costco until this rule is lifted. Thank you.
I mean, what?
Thank you.
This is a male Karen, right? This is a male Karen, and this poor guy being harassed. I think this guy should be promoted in the store for being so calm. Basically, doesn't want to wear a mask. Goes in there. Firstly, he's got a Costco membership card, which
I mean, you can get a lot of masks in Costco, I'll tell you.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of masks as well in Costco. And he wants his refund. And it's like, who's told you this? Who's told you? The poor guy. Where have you been, Rick Schroeder?
Well,
that you don't have to wear a
I
mask.
just looked him up because I thought he does look quite familiar, I have to say. And he was in a film called The Champ, which was a kind of boxing, real tearjerker boxing film.
I recognise him as a child star because when you said when you see the younger version of him, I was like, oh yeah, I can recognise him. But what a nasty, nasty man! And it just made me laugh. It's just like yeah, this is really going to destroy Costco's business because everybody else in there is wearing the mask willingly because that's the rules. That's kind of what you should be doing. And I just thought it was hilarious that he's decided that to fight the power. This is Costco is the enemy. And I just, like I said, I love the employee. He's such a great, calm
Yeah, stood his
guy.
ground, very calm. Yeah.
Yeah, just really, really, should get promoted. And how do you get a Costco? Do you have one, Julian, a Costco card?
No, I'm aware of them. They're sort of like big sort of cash and carry type thing.
Cash and
aren't they?
carry, yeah. And you have to, and I've always had to borrow someone's to get that. I remember when we were students, we had parties, and we knew someone who had a Costco card, and we'd go and get like loads of spend all our grant money on booze and party food and stuff. Well, food. What am I talking about? Students. We didn't eat.
Yeah, surely just the usual student fare.
But yeah, so this. I mean, I'm the opposite. Like I'm complaining when I see people not wearing masks. I'm thinking, you're not exempt. But of course, you don't say. You just make I just make angry eyes at them, like, or sniff and as I walk past them, like, how dare you not wear a mask? But I'm not saying it aloud. I'm just.
I saw my
saying it all
first
with my
exempt
eyes.
card. This guy actually had a card around his neck the other day on the tube with his sort of exemption status.
Yeah, then I want to see those. Where people are exempt, they should have something. And no one's told me where you're supposed to get these exemptions. I'm
Well, unfortunately,
claustrophobic. I
this
still wear a
one was
mask.
designed by David Hockney, so it didn't look very legit. But yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where you're supposed to get them as well, because, anyway, they must exist. But
Yeah,
I love the way he says, I think everyone in California should get a refund. It's like, well, even if they haven't bought anything, they could go out of business really quickly.
I wanted to zoom into the receipt to see how much you'd spent in there. and what it was on.
Oh, right. Let's see if we can catch
I
that.
don't know
at
if
the
you can
end.
do it, but I just think,
And
what
who
exactly did you buy that you wanted a
I'm the
refund for?
manager.
Okay, I'm suggesting everybody in California get a refund from Costco until this rule is lifted. Thank you.
The sleight of hand, I don't
Thank
know.
you.
See, this is the problem
don't-
of being
I mean,
a
they
child
don't-
star. I think that it's going to come back and bite you at some point.
And also, I love that neither of them really give a shit. You know, like they're like, "Oh God, we're just doing our job, mate. Just we don't know who you are because he's never worked again since then, has he? So this is his 15 minutes of fame, like comeback, I guess."
Well, I mean, the
on
clue is
social
that
media.
he's shopping at Costco. So, I mean, obviously, if he'd have made it, he probably, he'd be at, some organic store, wouldn't he? Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this is a revival of his career. I don't know, but it's just odd of all the places that he could have filmed himself. He decided to film this particular scene and put it out there. It's just a very strange thing for someone in California to do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have you got anything else, or are we
Well,
we
let's
out?
we're pretty close to out. Let's have a look. Obviously, anyone who wants to look at what tweets we selected, and we have gone through most of them in fairness, can just go under our likes tab. It takes you all the way back to our previous shows. I mean, there's probably stuff that we don't want to massively get into. Ian Dale, a former guest, points out the turnout in various places that have voter ID, whereas there's a tweet here that points out the minuscule number of cases of voter fraud, and there does seem to be quite a lot of opinion that it is a sledgehammer to crack a nut on that one. Obviously, David Cameron made his select committee appearance this week. There was a tweet from Times Radio's Stig Abel saying that there's always a suspicion that David Cameron is not a Prime Minister who fell into becoming a slippery PR man, but it's a slippery PR man who fell into becoming Prime Minister. And Pravina Ridra at the Telegraph, basically the Cameron tweet. So one of Cameron's tweets to sort of the ministers was very needy. I'm on this number and very free was one of them. And Pravina Rudra is me at 2 a.m. at Inferno's in Clapham. I know that well. Never been inside. Walked past it a lot. Barely able to stand up as I force my phone into the hands of a guy who's clearly uninterested. I'm on this number and very free. There is something very cheesy, sleazy about that. And Jessica L got this quite nice tweet about having a child changing your life in many ways, but one of the less talked about ways is how it absolutely fucks with your Spotify, because you've got all the kids stuff, and then all of a sudden, you've got your rap collection, and then all of a sudden you've got, White Noise or The Wheels on the Bus.
The Wheels on the Bus,
what
yeah.
it might be.
Oh, I love that the Bumble. What's going on there?
Yeah,
The
so
Bumble.
this is right. So this is Mary O'Connell, who was a finalist in the Funny Women Awards last year. We're in 2021, aren't we? Yeah, last year. Yeah, to everyone on Bumble, travelling is not the personality. So, I mean, something many of us who've used dating apps have noticed for quite a while, that unless you are some kind of globe-trotting, daredevil, dangerous sports kind of person, then where you at,
Well, my 1 week on Bumble, the one thing I noticed was that all the men like to have action shots. I'm on a bike.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm going down a mountain slope. Oh, and I'm also going to take my shirt off for no apparent reason. And not even, you'd think with the shirt off it might be like really sort of buff, built up, stuff. But no, it's not. And they're always looking for a woman, 10 years younger. And I was like,
and oh god, they never put that in the. They never put that in the bio, do they?
It's just kind of like whispering. You can see all these like kind of similarities of. But then the men then complain about the women that have got their pumped up lips, and so the men will say the other way around, or photos that were old, or this. And so basically, what I'm getting from the internet sort of dating thing is that everybody just lies. Everybody just lies about who they really are, and which is why I want to go back and I hanker for the the eyes across the bar, which is really possible now with the 2 meters distancing. So easy. And it is only eyes that we will see across the bar, nothing else. And that's all we've got to go on. Now, I'm hankering for that kind of dating.
Oh, that's in days gone by, but it is an interesting one because you do get. I mean, a lot of women. Some of the profiles of women will say things like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't go mountaineering at the weekend or whatever." So they're very conscious that there are other profiles out there, or maybe it's just the fact that obviously the men are doing this as well. But there's a lot of sporty kind of milk tray James Bond stuff going on, and I mean. It's kind of slightly exhausting, but yeah, it's amusing. That is definitely one of the dating mores out there. So we're nearly through. Actually, I think we can end on. Oh gosh, where have you gone? Gemma Forte. It's not her tweet, but she's Gemma Forte, who as a broadcaster, I know her a lot from Jeremy Vine because she does Jeremy Vine's show on Channel 5 very regularly. We should really be getting commission. So this is a tweet. 6-year-old boy at school gets welcomed back with a standing ovation after beating leukemia. I mean, it's a tiny video, so we'll play it from the beginning.
Oh, bless! This is adorable. I think we should always end on a nice big thing like this.
Totally, I totally agree.
That's so adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, how cute is he?
That must have been amazing. Just sort of. I mean, it's always really difficult on your first day back from anything, isn't it? But after coming through something like that, and then. Yeah, getting that reception. It's I
went to summer school. What did you do? I beat leukemia. They can't really beat anything like that. That's just so cute. That is lovely. But how the fact that it warmed my heart to see the other kids just like they've all got like they're doing it earnestly. They're not. It's not their fault.
I know it is lovely. I mean, we do. I mean, it did occur to me afterwards to sort of think that quite often we take the context of these things very much on trust. As you do with a lot of things on Twitter, but I mean it's completely fair enough in this case, I think, to do that. So let me wheel out. Yeah, it's a lovely
nice one to end on.
Let me wheel out the cold hard marketing part of the evening.
After we pulled on your heartstrings with that last tweet.
That's right, we pulled on your heartstrings. So now it's time to yank your wallet or the purse strings, isn't it? But not really, because actually any support you can give us is very welcome, whether that's a follow at LKT Zoom on Twitter. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, and also follow on YouTube where all our videos are would be fantastic. We have set up an account with Buy Me a Coffee. I'll do the high tech bit. So if you go to buymeacoffee.com / Let's Kill Twitter, or just go to Buy Me a Coffee and look up Let's Kill Twitter, you'll find our page, and you can donate and help support our work. And in terms of admin, crucial thing, which has been scrolling across the top of our screen for the last half an hour, 40 minutes, is that next week's show will feature comedians Nathaniel Tapley and Susie Bennett. It starts at 8 p.m.
I'm so excited.
I mean, you know both these guys really well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really excited to have them because they're both really funny, really good fun. I urge you to tune in next week because it's going to be a good one. And it's also my last one before I have a little break. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So that's Nat Tapley, who also plays a character called Sir Ian Bowler, and Susie Bennett, one of the funniest women that I know. I think we're going to have a real giggle, and I'm sure they're going to bring some funny tweets, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be heavy news. So if you want to have a little bit of light relief next week, I urge you to join us on 8 o'clock on Sunday the 23rd.
That's right. 8 o'clock next Sunday. So, and you can do that. You can join us in the Zoom room. You can go to Eventbrite to do that. Again, all details streaming above me on the ticker. But you can watch on streams as well. Obviously, you won't be able to interact, ask questions, and engage in the same way. But you can tweet at us or what have you. So there are various ways to watch and engage, which you can find out on our website. But it's been been a real pleasure. I'm really glad that we found some pretty happy tweets this week, and it's been really fun to.
In a very heavy week on Twitter that I noticed. Yes.
Yeah, yes. Definitely.
But have a good week, everyone out there. Enjoy yourselves and happy tweeting. We'll see you next Sunday.
Thanks for watching, guys. All puts the hand in the air that people can